gentlemen, this is the 7th visit to the beautiful island of Nevis. The first time was in February of 1966. Before you start counting, that was 52 years ago, next month. My 6th visit was in 1994, and this will probably be the last, as I will be 84 on February the 4th. My late husband, the Honorable Lawrence Morgan Hamilton, the great-great-grandson of Alexander Hamilton, was invited to meet Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip on Nevis, February 22nd, 1966. Lawrence was named for Alexander Hamilton's best friend, John Lawrence, who married Martha Manning, who was born on St. Kitts in 1759. She was born, it is likely her family knew Rachel Fawcett, Alexander Hamilton's mother. Martha died in France in 1781 on her way to see her husband in England. She left a daughter in St. Kitts. My husband Lawrence showed me around Nevis, and when I first saw this courtyard, I'd been over to visit the Trotts, of course, and I love Hope's parents. But the first time he showed me around Nevis, when I first saw this courtyard, it was overgrown with weeds, small broken trees, and piles of sand. The only part of Alexander Hamilton's birthplace left were these stairs. I have some pictures if you would like to see them, images. Imagine Alexander Hamilton crawling up these stairs, and later, when he was older, playing with his brother James and jumping off those very same steps. The government, Hamilton societies, and Hamilton fans were trying to get the home rebuilt. On the front facade of the stone wall is a plaque my husband donated and unveiled on January the 11th, 1957. The occasion was the 200th anniversary of Alexander Hamilton's birth. My husband was appointed by President Eisenhower to be the chairman of the Committee of Birthplace and Boyhood Home of Alexander Hamilton. In case you haven't had an opportunity to read the plaque recently, it reads, Alexander Hamilton, who subsequently went to the North American colonies in search of education, and who became one of the founding fathers of the United States of America, which he served as officer in the Continental Army, member of the Continental Congress, signer of the Constitution, Secretary of Treasury, and finally as Inspector General of the Army. In tribute to his immortal memory, this plaque was unveiled by the Alexander Hamilton Bicentennial Commission on behalf of the people of the United States of America, January the 11th, 1957. Two figures are sometimes given for the birthday of Alexander Hamilton, 1755 and 1757. Alexander Hamilton said it was 1757, and I think he would know. My husband, his family, and many scholars believe the date was 1757. Hamilton scholar Michael E. Newton states in his 2015 book, Alexander Hamilton, The Formative Years, his extensive research indicated it was 1757, as is on the plaque. On my visit in September of 1983 for the independence of St. Kitts and Nevis, the opening of this birthplace of a museum of Alexander Hamilton, the American actor Cicely Tyson was present. Her parents were born on Nevis. Cicely cut the ribbon for the opening of the museum. I donated silver candlesticks owned by Alexander Hamilton, as well as many books, pictures, and mementos to the museum. For the restoration of Alexander Hamilton's birthplace, I donated an original portrait of Alexander Hamilton painted during his lifetime to the Society of the Cincinnati in Washington, D.C., and requested the portrait of Alexander Hamilton, commissioned by my husband in 1960, be forwarded to Nevis. It is displayed in the museum. The book Swords, Ships, and Sugar by Vincent Hubbard is a history of Nevis. It has a picture of this portrait in his 1992 book. In the portrait, you can see Hamilton wearing the Society of the Cincinnati medal with the Eagle medallion. This society was formed in 1783 as the Revolutionary War was coming to a close. Some officers that served under George Washington thought to preserve the friendship built during the war and organized a Society of Friends. As the victorious General George Washington planned to retire to his farm, he was being called Cincinnatus, after the victorious Roman general who gave up power after a war and returned to his farm. The society became known as the Society of the Cincinnati, which still meets to this day. I have a copy of the letter Nevis Premier, the Honorable Simeon Daniels, wrote thanking the Society of the Cincinnati for the portrait. The present member representing the Hamiltons in the society is Douglas Hamilton of Ohio. Douglas is the fifth great-grandson of Alexander Hamilton, and his fourth great-grandfather was John Church Hamilton, my husband's great-grandfather. Thank you for inviting me to attend Alexander Hamilton's 261st birthday at the place of his birth. And to celebrate with you the Nevis Tea Party and for the Alexander Hamilton scholarships given to the promising youth of Nevis. The island of Nevis was just voted the 5th best place in the world to visit in 2018 by CNN Travel. Congratulations.